Manchester United need to solve their £50 million transfer problem. A select group of Man United players returned to training on Monday morning, and the international absence big balloons. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wouldn't be spoiled for choice if he had to pick a squad consisting of the Manchester United players who returned to training for the club at the start of this week. After granting players a week off following the humiliating defeat to Man City, a handful of senior stars arrived back at Carrington on Monday morning, eager to impress the under-fire post ahead of a season-defining spell of match. With most players away on international duty, United class register on Monday painted the picture of a motley crew who are yet to gain the full trust of their manager and remain on the periphery. Their very presence was another reminder of an issue which needs to be solved. Tony van de Beek, Tian Henderson, and Alex Telles were all in attendance for the session, having fallen out of favor at international level over the calendar year, while our one Bishop and Scott McTominay completed the collection of first-teamers back at the club facilities. The star-studded selection of second stringer further emphasizes the nation Solskjaer boasts one of the greatest squads in European football, but doesn't know how to best use it, given the aforementioned trio have all been limited to bench roles at best for much of the season so far. Van de Beek was a reluctant addition last year when United signed him for cut price following a failed move to Real Madrid, and Telles was another Solskjaer signee who arrived with high hopes but has not ever had a regular run in the first team to prove himself. The perceived misses of Van de Beek will be a lasting legacy of Solskjaer's tenure at the club. With he and fullback Telles representing £50 million of transfer investment under the Norwegian, which already was just over a year since they both arrived in English football. United supporters showcased their support for Van de Beek in defeat to Man City before the international break, match in which Telles also featured from the bench as a replacement for the concussed Luxor. Two appearances which were made out of desperation rather than a tactical decision. The two, like second-choice goalkeeper Henderson, could leave in the new year given the lack of playing time decision, despite assurances from the manager that they will get a chance to prove their worth. A damning reflection of the wasted money and potential in the recent history of the club. No matter who is in charge throughout the season, will need to find a way of better utilizing the enviable squad depth at their disposal before they can be backed with further investment in the transfer window, while the steady decline of Van de Beek and Telles is a warning sign to any stabilized international who might be tempted by a switch to Old Trafford. If recent signings are overlooked on the bench, then the criticism will fall on the manager who appears to be overlooking them. But if Solskjaer wants to cut himself some slack, then he needs to be perceived as giving equal opportunity to every player he has at his disposal. In the long run, the likes of Van de Beek and Telles might not be the answer, but it only reflects badly on the manager that we are still asking so many questions.